Hey there, conscious creator. You don't find it easy to fit into existing molds. I know that because I'm like you. I'm a visionary conscious creator too. And, for the visionary, you might suffer from two, what I call core wounds of obscurity and futility. And here's what they look like. It's like you're putting your great work out there. You have big visions, bold dreams, and it seems like the world doesn't know what to do with you. You don't fit into existing molds. You feel like maybe your ideas are too vast. They're maybe too ahead of their time, maybe untranslatable. Maybe, you being in your authentic vibration of self feels like too much for conventional minds. And you might even say that, maybe I'm not meant to be seen. Maybe my work isn't meant to be honored as a visionary conscious creator. Maybe I'll always be this voice kind of calling out from the void, unheard. And if you have futility, you might feel like you are showing up, you are putting out your best work, but a lot of days you feel like, well, even if I am seen, is it going to change anything? I look at the world and I see this reflection of this chaos, this very disheartening sense of doom all around. Is this ever going to amount to even more than a ripple in an ocean of a lot of unconscious energy? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not the only one that suffers from these wounds. I'm Catherine Massell, and I'm a visionary mentor who helps other visionary mentors and conscious creators so that they can reconnect with more of their genius and their purpose and their passion. And your message is needed on this planet now more than ever. So if you're asking, what's the point? Does it even matter? Stick around for a minute because I'm going to talk about healing these wounds in a way that I've been talking in my Against the Grain workshop. This is in my Visionary School membership community. This is a platform, it's on the Skool platform. And the last 2 days, today we just finished day 2 of teaching Against the Grain workshop. And to unwind the wound, you see the wordplay there, of futility, to unwind the wound of obscurity, we need to plug in something higher and better, an evolved expression. Because those fears don't ever really go away. The shadows of obscurity and futility actually don't even ever go away, and you shouldn't want to try to make them go away. Everything can exist, and if we can accept what is, we can also accept that if it's here, if it's a shadow theme, if it's a fear, if it's a wound, it's actually here as a signpost. It's actually here to show me where I'm off track, where I might be buying into these fears too much, which are impermanent. They don't represent anything other than illusion, and they certainly don't exist to support my message. I need to go to a different energy. And so what I shared in my Against the Grain workshop are these 5 archetypes of what I call visionary alchemy. And when we plug into these archetypes, you're able to stiffen your resolve. You're able to feel stronger with your voice, your message, your great life and your life's work and your singular energetic vibration that no one ever has had before you, no one will ever have after you. And what is meant to come through you, through that vibration, is really sacred. It's a divine gift, and we need to honor it as such. And so it's not about giving in to what you think the outside world is or reacting to what you believe or perceive the outside world to be. It's actually about strengthening your inner core stability and your being able to resonate with your truth and your voice, your authenticity that much more. So if you're going to stick around, let's get into it. So there's 5 key archetypes, as I mentioned. I kind of briefly touched on them in another video, but I'm going to go into the visionary archetype, which is what I shared today in this workshop. Again, it's Against the Grain workshop, and it can only be found in my private membership community called Visionary School. And I've got the links in the description down below. So the visionary, you know you're a visionary if you are someone who sees beyond the system or the systems or the structures, right? The paradigms. You have a primary gift, and that is that you are able to perceive the future before it arrives. You see the writing on the wall. You feel the energy coming, even if you can't quite name it yet or articulate it or call it out. you kind of feel this thrumming energy of something new about to break through, something about like being on a precipice or a threshold of change. Visionaries can tap into that. We're built to tap into that. Visionaries, by design, are very sensitive, very empathic. And we tend to kind of feel events before they actually play out in what we can witness in the physical. So, visionaries, we see what others don't. And not because we're daydreamers, but it's because we are operating from a higher vantage point. We're literally in a different kind of very unique frequency of being. And so from that, we're able to witness the trajectory of reality before the mainstream even realizes that there's a shift coming. This is powerful, but we're meant to not just have it stop there. Like we have to do something with it. If you're recognizing yourself in what I'm explaining so far and identifying with this, you're also resonating with the fact that like, yeah, and I have an idea after that. I have something I want to do, something I want to implement, something I want to create that's tangible, that's real, that's applicable, that actually ideally helps humanity shift, helps us move forward. And so we're actually built to break systems. If you recognize or identify yourself as being a visionary, as being a conscious creator, you have that inner architecture of being able to initiate change, to innovate things, to dissolve the illusion of permanence. In other words, you're here to show people that what seems immovable, what seems rigid or fixed in outer reality that a lot of people are reacting to, especially at the moment, it's already on the brink of transformation. If we notice it as something that's fixed, that's exactly when we know, especially when it feels like a really hard, heavy energy. That's when we know it's kind of reaching a culmination. It's begging to be changed. It is begging to be transmuted. So, visionaries, we don't try to fight those systems because we know they're meant to dissolve. We know that part of this time-space experience that we're having with this 3D reality illusion, this matrix simulation of reality, nothing here is permanent. Nothing here is fixed. It's more elastic and malleable than most people would think that it is. So, with that knowledge that is imbued into the heart and soul of every visionary, we're here to build something that's so compelling that the old system is bound to wither from irrelevance, from being obsolete. And so, there are certain visionaries on this planet who have come and gone, two of them that I mentioned today in our class, that I particularly hearken to. David Bowie, one of my idols, absolutely a visionary. I believe he was from another planet. That's a post for another time, a video for another time. Our dearly newly departed David Lynch, also an incredible visionary. Most artists are incredible visionaries, auteurs, incredible directors that leave you with an imprint of, I'm seeing reality differently. Those are visionaries. And, whatever your opinions might be on those people, they operate through this lens of the visionary. They didn't try to fight traditional ideas or convention. They made something that was cooler, faster, bigger, better, more different. And as a result, shifted the industries that they found themselves in, shifted the very systems and structures that they found themselves in or operate within. And that's what we're here to do as visionaries. And if you want to embody more of this archetype, here's how. Stop waiting for anyone else to validate your vision. You have to lead with the reality that you see. So it really is about fortifying your resolve, being stronger and more confident and courageous, using your authentic voice. When things feel like it's mired in too muchness, understand that that's not the energy visionaries have. Because when you're worried about that, you're trying to play to the gallery. You're trying to talk to everybody. And if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. But the more clear and succinct and concise that you are in your message, the energy you're trying to convey, and that might take a little tweaking, that might take some time. By the way, that's what I'm here to do. I help visionary creators, conscious creators map their big, bold ideas and visions into tangible reality. And so when you get really good at that, you don't need anyone else to validate your vision. You don't need the stamp of approval. You don't need permission from outer reality or any outside sources. Because when you're that clear, you have that clarity in your work, the bigger why behind what you do, why you're here doing what you do, why you feel so passionate about your mission, your calling, your purpose, when that is clear and that is solid, that's the core stability that you're operating from. And you can be in this energy when you're doing that. You're speaking about your ideas, your visions, your bold dreams that maybe exist in bold strokes, but the more you talk about them as if they're already here, it's like all of the details tend to present themselves. They show up, they volunteer themselves so that you can, strategize or implement what you're doing in a more tangible, applicable way so that it can actually help yourself and the other people that you're here to assist with your great work and your vision. So this is just a taste. In the Against the Grain workshop, we go through all 5 of these archetypes. We go deep into what the wounds of obscurity and futility really are, how they function, what the triggers are, how to work around them. You're given a very powerful recalibration exercise. And tomorrow, when we meet for our 3rd and final day in this workshop, because this has been the mindset kind of piece over the first 2 days, the 3rd day is me taking you through a guided energy induction, an energy of remembering that you are here to make peace with and have peace with uncertainty. Because if you identify as being a visionary, conscious creator, you can't wait for the outer world to become stable or get less crazy in order for you to do the great work that you're here to do. You're here to concretize and create a strong, stable foundation from the courage of being you, the confidence of being you, knowing you're a visionary, knowing you're here to see things and do things differently, and be unflinching in your application of that ideal. When you're in that, you become an unstoppable force. Then you are going past any hurdles or perceived barriers that you think are in the way of you doing what you're here to do. Those are all inner mental constructs. There's nothing outside of you keeping you from this visionary ideal, this conscious creator ideal. And when you realize that, you'll realize, I'm going to stop waiting for permission for something outside of me to tell me it's okay to be myself. That moment will never come. That situation, that person will never show up. Instead, we have to be such an immovable, unstoppable force within that it actually causes the matrix and the simulation of holographic realities to bend to us. And then everything starts looking different in your world, in your mirror reflection of reality. So I'm going to leave the comments down below, but I hope this helped you today. I sincerely hope that this message came along and was exactly what you needed, especially when, we're experiencing this perception of the world right now that feels really strongly divisive and chaotic. You are still, and maybe even more so, here to be untethered to these control mechanisms that you perceive outside of you. You're not here to react to what is, you're here to create the new. So I'm here to empower you to do that. If you want to know more and you want to get into this workshop with me, it's not too late. It's in Visionary School when you join. It's a membership, a monthly recurring membership. You'll have all the details down below. If you recognize yourself in what I'm saying, you are more than welcome to join our community there. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.